Hey, it's Kat, and I'm back with another winter wreath for you. This one is using 3 different colors of mesh as well. We have a light blue, a silver, and a white. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the mesh. In this case, I'm working on the outer portion of the wreath first, and I separate my cut mesh and scrunch it together, pinching in the middle, and then fastening it to the wreath form via the pipe cleaner. I will continue this process and move my way around the entire outer ring, alternating between the 3 colors. Now we'll be moving to the end portion of the wreath, and I'm using a smaller cut portion but the same 3 colors of mesh. I'm repeating the same process, finding that open pipe cleaner I have on my inside of my wreath form and attaching it. I repeat this until all the pipe cleaners are now filled with mesh. Moving on to ribbon. I use 10 different styles of ribbon. I pair them up in groups of 2 different colors, with 4 having 4 of each and 1 having 5 of each. I begin with that set. I start and pair them up, forming an X. I then find a starting point on the wreath frame and go ahead and attach those 2 ribbon to my wreath frame. I generally start with the inside, and then I move around like a clock face, so the first one being at 12 o'clock, and then move to approximately 2 o'clock, and then a 5 o'clock position, again to 7, and then on to 10. I will continue this process. Each of these ribbon pieces are 12 inches long, and they are dovetailed. Once those initial 5 sets of ribbon are on, I then grab 1 from each set of the remaining ribbon. So I have an additional 4 sets of 2 ribbon each. I will then place those starting near one of the spaces where I've attached the initial ribbon. And I will alternate inside and outside and move around, putting on those sets of 4. I do like to fasten off the back of my wreath with the pipe cleaner ends just so that they're not scratching the surface at which it's hung. You don't have to trim using wire cutters, but I like to because it just saves a little time. I make sure they're twisted off well, I trim them, and then tuck them under so that the ends are tucked into the mesh. One of the final stages is adding the sign. You'll figure out where you want your sign to be placed. I do recommend pulling out at least all the ribbon from underneath your sign. This way your sign will sit more into your wreath and less chance of slipping. So I have already attached monofilament or fishing line to the edges of the sign. I will then push that fishing line to the back of the frame, wrapping around one of the wire bars going around. I then like to, with wooden signs, come back up and go back down through that drilled hole just to make sure it's very secure. I do this on the two ends and make sure that it's secure, and then I flip it over and do the other side on the two ends. I like doing the edges rather than the top and bottoms just because I feel like I get a more secure hold. Now that my sign is on, I will go ahead and kind of fluff a little. One last step I will do is I'd like to add a wire hook onto the back of the wreath so that it can be hung. So I find the top, I flip it over, and it's about a 6-inch wire piece, and I form a loop, and using my pliers, I will make sure it's secure onto my outer wreath ring.